Well, how do you do, Buckaroos? How the heck are you? So, I had a rare, nice day. I don't know. It's been cold. Now it's, I don't know. Feels like about 60 something out here. I don't know what the temp is. I didn't check. So I thought it felt like it felt like double IPA or Imperial IPA weather. So I've got a couple three left over. Oh, excuse me. That I thought, well, I'd go through, see if I can get through at least one, maybe two, and if I'm lucky, all three of them. Let's starting with the Hopslam here. I did a video just for this, so I don't need to drone on about it. But an exceptionally aromatic blend of hops combined in this balanced interpretation of the double IPA style, best enjoyed as fresh as possible. It is unpasteurized, unfiltered, blah, 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 blah. It is 10%, and I don't know the IBUs on it. I believe it's over 100, but I don't remember specifically. The aromas are very nice on this. They really are. It is very fruity, as you would expect a beer like this to be. I get a lot of grapefruit on the nose, mix of stone fruit, and there's some peppery notes I find very interesting, almost a blend of kind of a white pepper, clove, coriander kind of thing going on. It's very nice. Let's have a drink, huh? Oh yeah, baby, I'm digging it. Yeah, see, here's the thing. Been seeing a lot over all over social media about folks. Some it seems to be either really love it or think it's overpriced and overhyped. I got to tell you, I haven't had this since 2012, and in years past, when I've had it before then, I kind of went back and forth from really liking it to thinking it was overpriced and overhyped. But I got to tell you, this year's model really lives up to all the hype in my opinion. As far as price goes, yeah, it isn't cheap. It ran about 18 bucks for the 6 pack. But let's break that down just a tad, shall we? It's 18 bucks for 72 ounces, right? There are many double IPAs out there, Imperial IPAs that run $10 a bomber, 22 ounces, or even more than that. So if you're willing to pay $10 a bomber for 22 ounces, I don't think you have the right to bitch about 18 bucks for 72 ounces. You just don't, because you're going to end up paying 30 bucks for 66 ounces if you're going to buy three of them. So there you go. I mean, yeah, it isn't cheap. I mean, it was about 3 bucks a can. That's very pricey, especially for a tightwad like me. I'm a guy that really likes to buy craft beer on a budget. But I mean, it is something that comes out once a year. The color is just gorgeous. So I am, maybe it's one of those things for me. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I mean, I haven't had this in several years, and the last year that I did have it, I remember not being extremely impressed with it. But I mean, this year I really am. I don't know if the beer's changed any. It could be just my taste buds. It could be my outlook on the beer. Who knows? It could be a lot of things. But I gotta tell you, I like everything about it. It is a perfect spring beer, even though we're just shy of spring. It just pours a beautiful golden. Um, you can feel a little bit of that honey sweetness in there. It kind of helps uh, keep the body somewhat light while getting your ABV up where they want it in a beer like this. And I gotta say, I don't think the ABV is harsh on this at all. I personally think it's hid well. There's a lot of great double slash imperial IPAs on the market. Of course, there's two that really get a lot of attention that I don't really need to name. You're going to know who they are. But I don't know. I really think this one is right up there. I mean, especially this year's. I'm really loving everything about it. It's just. Hold on, let me take a drink and I'll talk more. It gives wow, I'm just digging it. Yeah, it gives me all the flavors I want in a beer like this. It certainly gets some grapefruit. I'm getting some tangerine. Um, I'm getting a lot of flavors, kind of reminiscent of juicy fruit gum. I know that sounds odd, but I'm getting these peppery notes at the end, much like I was on the nose. Some white pepper, a mix of white pepper, clove, and coriander. It just kind of breaks it all up to keep it from becoming, uh, you know, uh, too cloying. And it's got just this nice dry finish. It's just very crisp. It's very clean. It's a perfect spring double IPA. Now there are some bigger ones out there. One thing I like about the Piney River that does one in March every year that I really love, and the one thing I really like about it is that it's bigger in the body. It has more malt than many double IPAs are doing these days. But this one is really perfect for this time of year for the type of day I'm having anyway. I mean, it is about 60 out here ish. And it's just a beer that feels fresh, it feels clean, and it just feels good. So there you go. Buy it or don't buy it. I mean, it really makes me no, never mind. I'm not under payroll, but it's a good beer. And I really think if you are a lover of the style, you really ought to try it. It only comes out once a year. Give it a whirl. And you decide for yourself if it's overpriced and overhyped. Don't let somebody on social media decide that for you. Well, I do, folks. I'm back, and because I've got such a nice day, it really feels like double or imperial IPA weather. So I got two or three I want to get to, and this is number two. This is one I really like. Moody Brews out of Little Rock, Arkansas, by way of Krebs, Oklahoma. He actually gypsy brews these at Krebs, Chalk, or Chalk Brews. Also, I believe that's for Prairie Artisan. Contract or gypsy brews or whatever they call it out there. This is an interesting Imperial IPA. It's 8.5%. Not sure the IBUs. I think he said 90, but I don't remember exactly. They use hemisphere or hops from both hemispheres. They tell you to look for citrus, apricot, tropical fruit aromas. I mean, a lot of what a lot of most double or imperial IPAs are doing these days. It's braced by bready, toasty malt backbone. So there you go. I do like this one a lot, and I finally got it poured somewhat decent. I believe it's a bottle conditioned beer, and there is some stuff going on down there. So I tried to be careful, so I got a clearer pour this time than I did when I did the video. I think that's a very nice. I described the Hopslam as golden, but compared to this, it's not quite golden. This one really is deep golden, almost to amber. Using my Urban Chestnut glass. I hope neither brewery objects. Again, it describes similar flavors that the Hop Slam has, but it comes at them in such a different way that they're really not similar at all. Even though the flavors, they do impart a lot of the same flavors, they come at you in such a different way it doesn't feel like it's even remotely the same beer. Uh, the first thing I notice on the aroma here is a whole lot of stone fruit. I certainly feel some of that malt as well, that big toasty malt. And you are getting some citrus. Again, I am getting the grapefruit zest that you typically get. I'm feeling some tangerine-like notes. But I really feel a whole lot of that stone fruit, the apricot specifically on this one. Even though the ABV is lighter, it is 8.5%, even though that's not exactly small. I think they're relying more on malt because it does feel a little meatier. It feels a little meatier, a little toothier than the Hop Slam does. Josiah Moody who brews this, Moody Brews, hence the name, also does some brewing for a place called Vino's in Little Rock, which is kind of a, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. I don't know if landmark strip, but it's kind of the, it's been there forever. It's kind of been a breeding ground for brewers since they started. I was there once, and I have to admit that I want to go back because it was a little hard on him. The beer I had was fine, actually. The beer was fantastic, and I was clear about that at the time. But I walked from a place called Dugan's Pub, which is a very nice little Irish pub downtown. So I walked, I don't know, whatever the distance is. Felt like a long damn way. It's probably just a little over a mile, but I'm an old fat guy, and it felt like a distance. Anyways, by the time I got there, I mean, I was winded. I didn't understand how things worked. And you have to stand in line to get a beer. Well, I didn't understand that, so I stood off to the side. And by the time I figured out what the hell was going on, there was a big line. So I had to wait in the line to order a beer. And I'm just a guy who loves to sit at a bar. So if a place is listed to me as a brew pub, I want it to feel more beer centric. And to me at the time, it just didn't feel beer centric. I was irritated. It was probably just because I was hot and sweaty and really thirsty. But anyway, I ordered 2 beers and sat down. I finished them, and I wish I'd have stayed longer because they had more on the menu that I really would have liked to try. So now that I know more about the history of the place than I did at the time, I like to go back and kind of give them another shot because I may have been a tad unfair because I was winded and didn't understand how things work. If I had been able to talk to somebody beforehand and understood, but there you go. Sometimes shit happens. So my apologies to Vinos if you took my took my critique harshly. I apologize. But anyway, to make a long story short, there actually it's too late for that. It already is a long story. But basically, Josiah Moody started out there. He said he started as a keg washer, worked his way up to brewer, left to do his own thing for a little bit, but now he's back there training some other brewers and doing some brewing himself while he's still working on looking at finding a place in Little Rock to do all the brewing there. So I wish him a lot of luck because I've only had 2 beers from him actually. This one and an interesting beer called Sixes and Sevens. And Sixes and Sevens is described on the bottle as a Imperial Belgian style chocolate porter. Yeah, if that's not interesting enough, the beer will take care of that. It just keeps you guessing every sip. It's just an interesting beer, and that's the thing about this one and that one. Both of them aren't typical. They're not what you're going to expect. They both keep you guessing. He has. I would like to see what all he put in this. It would be very interesting because he seems to have a unique approach to brewing beers, and he likes to keep your palate guessing. So there you go. I don't know if I gave any specific flavors on this. I did a video again just for this, so you can look that one up. But again, there's a lot of stone fruit in the mill. I'm getting a whole lot of apricot. There is some peach as well, but I'm getting predominantly apricot. I'm certainly feeling some grapefruit as well as some pineapple. There's possibly some other tropical fruits in there that I'm not familiar with. I mean, some may get some passion fruit, some may get papaya. Who the hell knows? You're going to get a lot of stuff. But again coming at you in a different way, but with similar flavors as the Hopslam. Is I am feeling some of those pepper-like notes right there at the end. It's just kind of different. It just everything comes at you in a different place on the palate on this beer. So even though a lot of the flavors are the same, they come at you in a much different way, making a completely different beer. And I really like this a lot. So I want to thank Moody Brews and Josiah Moody. I did a spread on him. I said that wrong. I did a little article, a short article on on my website, timeToBeerWhisperer.com on Moody Brews and Josiah Moody. So if you feel like looking it up, go ahead. So anyways, I'm Time to Beer Whisperer. We'll talk to you later. Well, how do you do, Buckaroos? This is the last of 3 double or Imperial IPAs I'm doing today. And I didn't realize that this one had floaties in it too till just now, but it does. I did, again, I poured it rather aggressively because not realizing, and there you go. There's some stuff in there, but I ain't going to sweat it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, baby. So that's why there's some stuff going on in there. I should have poured it mellow like I did the other one, but I didn't realize. Anyway, 10% IPA with higher alcohol and finest hops, perfectly balanced. It is very nice. I'm not sure the IBUs on it. I believe I can't remember if they're 90 or 100 plus. You'd have to look it up on their website. Quite frankly, I'm not doing a video. I did another video about this beer. This one here, I'm just going over and enjoying 3 IPAs, 3 Imperial IPAs on a rather warm Ozarks day. So I'm here just for the enjoyment, man. Saddlebock is out of Springdale, Arkansas. They're a brewery I really like a lot. They do a lot of great stuff out there. I've only been to the brewery once. That was about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that. And I really want to get back there. It's only about 2 hours away, but there's other things. Last time I was in the general direction, I hit the Ozarks Brewery, and I didn't have time to get to the others. But I really want to get back to this one. Aroma is nice on this one. Again, it feels like it's got a bigger malt backbone going on than the Hopslam. Probably very similar to the half seas over. and you are getting a lot of those aromas again. You're getting some stone fruits. You're getting those tropical fruit notes that you expect to get from a beer like this. Oh, oh yeah. When I was at the brewery, it was actually the first time I did an interview, and my camera was wobbly because I'm using my phone, right? And I'm doing this number, and it didn't come out great, but it was great that the owner Steve Raybach did a short interview with me. I would love to get back there and do another one with him now that I have a slightly better grasp on what I'm doing than I did back then. So, but the bottom line is he was really nice and. Friendly and helpful. And the beers were just fantastic, man. Everything I had there was just crazy good. So it's the last of three big IPAs I'm going to do today. Oh, and I just decided to do. I'm kind of spur of the moment. I wasn't planning on doing any videos today, but I thought, well, I want to have a beer. I've got three beautiful double slash Imperial IPAs. I got such a nice day. It seems a shame not to come outside and drink them. I've been, if you've been watching any of my videos lately, I've been fooling around with different backdrops. I take pictures and then I string them together on the movie maker, and then I put them in the background on my TV. So I do the videos. I've got various backdrops going on. You know? So that's how I've been able to do that. But sometimes I guess I'm just an old school guy. I love having a beer on the patio. So anytime it's warm enough, this is where you're going to find me. I love being on the patio. I love being outside. Even when I'm at a bar, I love being in a bar. I love being in that old school smoky room, so to speak, even though many are not smoky. But I think you're following me. I mean, that type of bar. I love being inside. But I also love when when a bar has a nice beer garden, I can just be outside and relaxing. I think for me, there's something special about sitting outside and enjoying a beer. Oh, this one does actually. I'm gonna say it's got more malt going on than the other two. The Moody Brews half season over. It had a little more backbone than say the Hopslam. This one has even more malt going on. You really feel those big toasty malts. Again, even though I'm getting a lot of the same flavors, I'm getting the stone fruit, I'm getting the grapefruit, I'm getting the various tropical fruits going on. Even though I'm getting a lot of the same flavors, all three beers come at you in such a different way that they're not even remotely similar. And I like to tell people to come to Missouri for craft beer, even though it's not necessarily thought of as a craft beer mecca. But I mean, St. Louis has so many. Kansas City's got a few, but there's a good number of craft breweries and brew pubs along the way, somewhere in the middle. You got Piney River, you got Public House. And here in Springfield, I've got Springfield Brewing Company, I got White River, Mothers, etc. But then if you're traveling through Arkansas, I mean, if you're going through depending on what part of Arkansas you're going into, but Springdale, I mean, you've got Saddlebock and Core. Rogers, you've got Ozarks Beer Company. Um, you get into Fayetteville, there's a handful more. You go the other direction and go into Little Rock. Again, you've got Stone's Throw. There's oh gosh, what's the other one? Oh, there's just 100 of them now, and I'm I'm going blank on the names. I mean, yeah, there's Moody Brews, you got Vino's, of course, and there's just a whole lot. Everybody wants to concentrate on the coast for craft beer, but there's a whole lot smack dab right in the middle of America. So don't miss out, man. Come to Missouri, go to Arkansas. Again, Arkansas really not thought of as a craft beer mecca, but they're going to have to start being thought of that in that manner because there's some great breweries out there. Hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer, and we will talk to you later.